Hello everybody, my name is Tratnos. Lots of 11.1 news today. Tier set bonuses will be out in another video probably around the same time as this one. That's not good for the algorithm, but whatever. But there's some exciting news that I figured warranted its own video, and then tomorrow I'll have a full patch notes video out as well. So we data mined a raid Renown track that will grant a stacking raid buff, augment runes, and eventually a dinar-like currency to purchase the exact item you want. The new raid Renown track seems to contain stacking damage and healing buffs at Renown 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, and 19, chance of free augment runes, raid skip, raid portal, dinars at 17 and 19, and more utility. It's unclear exactly how you'll gain reputation with the Galagio loyalty rewards, 10 out of 10 flavor. But since the track contains the current raid buff, it's likely it'll be similar to the current season, killing bosses. And we've data mined a new upgrade track that could be the Dinar upgrade track, as it has 14 upgrade ranks and will cap at Myth 6 out of 6 at 678. So yeah, you gain Renown with the Galagio Loyalty Rewards Club, and you can get stuff at the top floor of the Intercontinental Hotel, consume food faster while inside the Liberation Underground. A lot of cool flavor here. Presumably, my guess for this is that you can get one Renown track per week. Like one level of the Renown track per week would be my guess. And that way you get your first hit of damage and healing increased by 3% on the 4th week of the raid, which is a little bit sooner than this time. And then again on the 7th week. And then so every 3 weeks you're getting 3%. That would match up with the current pace, which is 1% per week. I guess right now it's 1.125% per week every 2 weeks. Here it would just be 1% every 3 weeks, giving you that buff. A little bit of a bigger buff when you actually get it. So maybe a little bit more, you'd feel it a little bit more than you'd feel the 2.25%. Pretty similar size to that. And yeah, this actually will be relevant earlier in the tier for more guilds. Of course, it'll stack faster, starting earlier, and then actually a slightly slower slope. But and then yeah, bunch of other stuff in here. There's, some stuff with augment runes or things like that. Increasing the effectiveness of your consumable buffs inside the Liberation of Undermine as well. So this is further power that you might be able to pick up as well. And then the big thing as well is the Dinar thing. Now, the fact that this is a account-wide Renown as well probably means that later in the season, you're going to have 2 Dinars on your alts, right? Because these are... you'll probably be able to just go and talk to the person like you can right now on an alt, and any Renown vendor just has all the quests there. So that will be huge. And then you'll have an 18% damage and healing buff on, I guess, the 18th or 19th week of the raid. And yeah, that seems really sick. And you get a teleport at the end of the tree as well. You get mounts. This seems incredible. I mean, this seems really, really like a really good way of doing the stacking raid buff. And I mean, of course, I'm a huge fan of adding Dinars in. It's going to be pretty late in the season, right? Renown 17 and 19. If I'm right, and this is capped, like hard time gated at 1 per week, which is my guess for how this will function, we're still talking about like 4 months before you get your Dinar, right? So, it's not something you can rely on early in the tier, but by the end of the tier, you can get anything you want. And even if you don't mythic grade, or even if you only do the first few mythic, you'll actually be able to pick up the 2 most important items for you from the later bosses in the raid and potentially upgrade them to 6 out of 6. Again, this hasn't been hard confirmed by Blizzard, but this is data mined. It's pretty likely that it will work this way. So yeah, this seems extremely cool, extremely flavorful. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 from me. Fantastic. Okay, Aoker. Aoker is getting massively changed here. It can no longer buff tanks and healers. It's been mandatory in every high M plus group, which mandatory is, I think if you could ever use the word mandatory, it would be this. Like of all of the top 100 runs every season since Aoker has come out, I think Aoker has been in like 380 of those 400 or something like that. It's extremely good. Obviously, there are runs without it, but it's extremely good. It's been nerfed several times. And one of the huge problems with Aoker was, in addition to bringing its damage, it also made your tank tankier, and it also made your healer healier. And so that was just very hard to compete with. Plus, it had a higher utility budget than the average spec as well. So Closest clutch mates coming back now. Ebonmite and Breath of Eons are 25% more effective when not in a raid, but Ebonmite does not affect tanks and healers. So in a key, Ebonmite is going to affect 2 people plus you, so 3 people, but the Ebonmite on you doesn't do much. And it's also it's going to be at 125% effectiveness. So it's kind of still maybe going to be decent there. Again, more effective on fewer targets, but you're going to be lining it up more reliably with their cooldowns than you do in raid with 4 people, unless you're really good. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, this seems like you're still going to be providing value to your tank as well with Blistering Scales, which is a pretty potent effect. This does seem like an important swing here to take at Aoker for the high end, M plus meta. And I hope that if they go down this path as well, they can actually maybe then amp some of the damage back up on Aoker further. They've been moving a little bit more of the effects into its own damage as well, which I know there are a lot of people who play AUG because they really like supporting their friends and they like the value coming from that side. I do think it's possible that, again, like Aoker has taken a lot of nerfs over the past year, largely because of the utility and defensive side of things. So doing something like this to hit its defensive side of things, hopefully, if this does make AUG suck, this will then let them put some of that power back in just how much you're adding to your DPS players. But it's a really tough spec to balance because it is so good when played in a coordinated group. And if they do want to balance it, like if they don't like Aoker being mandatory for high keys and they're going to balance accordingly, my worry has always been that doing that would make it really not as fun as it has been for the people that enjoy it in the same way that they enjoy playing Yuumi in League of Legends in low keys and stuff. So yeah, I think this is a good thing to do, but I hope that I'm sure they're not done tuning this either further in this direction, or maybe this is far enough now and they can start bringing the damage back up now that they've tamped that defensive value down a little bit. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, huge change there. All right, I think that's it. Oh, wait, no, there's one last thing here, the Catalyst charge thing. So yeah, I'll talk more about this in the full patch notes video, which will come out tomorrow. But basically, you know how you could get an Omni token for getting Keystone Master, 1600 PvP, or AOTC? In the new patch notes, it now says you get a Catalyst charge instead of an Omni token. But each of them grants a Catalyst charge, which means if you're a player that could do all 3 of these, you could presumably pick up 3 plus the base 1 that you get. You could get 4 Catalyst charges at the start of the season, which means you could have everybody in a raid group have 4-piece hero track from just AOTC, make everybody do 1600 in PvP, which is obviously kind of hard, and Keystone Master, which is also obviously kind of hard. But if you're in a super sweaty environment, this actually is potentially a massive nerf to how important and valuable splits are for the purposes of getting 4-piece hero track on everybody in the first week, because now if you just all play one character, but you play it more and you do these things on it, you can also get 4-piece hero track on the first week, which that seems like a really good thing. I mean, this makes me hopeful that maybe looking at this now, maybe my guild will go back down to just 2 runs, maybe even 1 run. Maybe we don't even need an ult anymore because all the hero track you can just get from M+, and all the tier you can get from getting these achievements. So I don't know. This is essentially an exciting new world for a small subset of guilds that will do splits if they're super valuable, but won't do them if they're not super valuable, which is kind of that world. I don't know, 10 to 100 range or something like that. Guilds in that range. Maybe we'll change what we're going to do based off this. So that's going to be pretty sweet for us. Obviously, there's a lot of players for whom getting even one of these things is a huge chore, and even earning, like, each season they only earn one of these things early on or not at all. But I still think, yeah, assuming this is true and not a typo, or not a, because they did say in a different post that Catalyst charges will be, in the tier set bonus post. So here's the thing that makes me a little bit skeptical here. There are not currently any plans to change the acquisition of class sets. As in Season 1, players will receive a charge when the season begins and an additional charge every other week. So these two statements, one of these is a lie, right? Or one of them is wrong. Either there aren't plans to change the acquisition, or the each thing is wrong, right? Like, or each of them will give a token. I guess maybe they're thinking there's like that is a small enough set of the player base that actually get multiple of those achievements early on, and so that's what this is doing here. But either way, that is a quick look at some of the news coming with patch 11.1. More videos coming out. There's a video if you want to see me going through all of these set bonuses. Probably come out a little bit after this video because it's a longer video, so it'll take longer to render and stuff. And then tomorrow I will have a video looking at the full patch notes as well. Ooh, a new one as well. Datamine class changes, major class change for everyone. I think this is just all the ones that are in the notes. So, yeah, I don't think any news has come out while recording this. So, hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.